So I'm going to play this clip of me introducing my dog to getting his teeth brushed. I have to start him on a toothbrushing regimen because he's starting to get tartar buildup pretty bad. I'll also do a quick toenail cutting demonstration. My dog doesn't actually need to ever get his toenails cut because we go outside pretty much every day on the pavement and then on the trails, and if you do that, your dog's toenails will usually wear themselves down. Occasionally he'll get a long one and I'll cut that off, but it's pretty rare, like twice a year maybe, that I have to pick off a random long toenail. Usually it's Mother Nature doing the work and regular exercise. But this will be a demonstration on how to introduce a dog to something new, a new habit that provokes anxiety or fear or aggression. Typically giving them a bath, clipping their nails, brushing their teeth. Might be anything, getting them to take a medicine, or if you have to apply some kind of medicine to them. Any number of things. Getting examined by the vet or going to the groomer. The basic underlying principles of this demonstration should be universally applicable, even though I'm specifically just going to do toothbrushing and I'll clip a toenail just for another example. So let me play this clip. So already he's chilled out, but he's getting a little bit more aware because I'm setting up a bunch of lights. The camera, the lens has an autofocus motor. You can see he's already smelling. Dogs are nose based. So what I want to do is get that nose curious. I put a little bit of baking soda and olive oil, which is what I'm going to use to polish his teeth there. And that's something a dog's going to enjoy anyway, so he gives it a lick and a smell. And then I go ahead and I'm going. Now this is the part where he's getting anxiety. I'm just going to go ahead and do it, but it's it's a positive thing. The salt and the oil, he's tasting that good. So even though this is kind of like getting his space violated with you scratching at his teeth, it's something, if you just do it in a short burst like that. I went in there, I just tried to scrub that canine, and then I'm backing off. Imagine the stressful part being like the red intense zone and the green being like back in the chill, relaxed, curious zone. I'm giving him like 80% or more me not invading his space, me wanting him to calm, and then I give that 10-20% of the intense, that red time, that stimulus that's getting him more uncomfortable. See that dark tartar? He was raised before I got him on a wet food diet, and that's started building up over the last few years, and it's something that I haven't been consistent at. So, and again, this could be anything. The idea is to start the experience positive, keep the stress to a minimum and have it be focused, and then be willing, especially in the early parts, because eventually if you don't overwhelm the dog and traumatize it with those early experiences, I can then make this brushing more and more frequent, and I can go through less time where I'm backing off and being patient. And patience, the key word there. You don't do this on your terms, even though you're doing this to take care of the animal. The point is so you don't have to be stressed, and so and your animal doesn't have to be stressed. You're doing it this slow, patient way, a little bit of exposure, and then backing off. I visualize it like a red light, and then a long green light, and then a short red light, long green light. Whatever kind of visualization helps you. So I'm backing off again. I scrubbed those two canines. Those were my target teeth. Went and got the toenail clippers. He never gets his toenails cut, like I said. He wears them down on daily runs with the pavement and trails. Now again, I'm aware that this whole circus of setting up lighting and shit is making my dog wary. He's pretty chill because I got all that oil salt. Now again, I'm associating myself and these kind of rituals. I'm letting him smell me, taste the oil on my hands. It's all good. There's no anxiety. Grabbing a dog's paw, there's going to be almost every dog is not going to like that. Instinctually, its brain is wired for, this is my foot. You shouldn't be touching it. In Mother Nature, they wouldn't allow another animal to do that. An injury to the foot for a dog in the wild is game over. They die. So think about it like that. If some friggin' monkey man is toying with your foot, this is going to promote anxiety or fear or possibly a fear aggression response if you don't respect that as you try to do this. So I put a little oil on the clippers. I let him taste it. His first experience with those clippers now is something not traumatic. And now my mistake is I really don't want to ever screw up and cut my dog's toenail. And if you should look up a guide on cutting your dog's toenails, because it's really easy to go a little too deep where the flesh actually is, and cut them. And that's just not what you want to do. It's too easy for this to already be uncomfortable. And you can see he doesn't want me to take his paw. So I'm not fighting him hard, but I'm just being calm and persistent. And what I should be doing is just getting in there with skill and just clipping that toenail and not taking as long as I did, but I was really trying to make sure I had that blade on the right spot. And I gave it a nice clean jerk and cut that off. And I totally backed off because that's the intensity, that's the peak of the intensity. That moment you're cutting the toenail and it clips and the clippers are loud and the dog feels the tug on a sensitive part of it. And I just back off. Because imagine that once the animal, and this goes for humans too, once we get into that fight or flight state, there's no rationalizing or coming back out of that. You got to literally switch your nervous system state so your brain is open and rational and curious, open to the uncomfortable experience. So he was pretty good. What else can I say? If you're doing like a bath or something, same thing. Make the earliest experiences short. Don't go intense. Don't be like forcing it. The way that people most commonly screw up is the dog freaks out in whatever situation, and then the human freaks out and they're like, oh, what are you doing, come on, and they're like wrestling the dog to try to force them through the situation, and that just proves to the dog's instinctual fear, holy crap, something really bad is happening. And then you start a feedback loop that becomes their default association when they start, if it's the bath, when they hear that bath run and you tell them, you holler their name and they just know, start hiding in the house. Or they see the clippers and you shanked one of their paws because you were just being really impatient and thrashing with the dog as it tried to be fearful. Maybe I can rewind this back to the toenail cutting part and narrate it again, because there's some stuff that I maybe didn't observe. Let's see. So yeah, again, I give him the time to sense the tool, I guess I'm giving him some lovings first. Take the paw, I'm not holding it too tight. When he pulls that paw away, again, letting him smell with his nose, not making this go fast, giving him time to be like, okay, what's this? Smells it, tastes it, that's positive experience. That's a relaxed, curious experience. That's not a fight or flight. Take the paw, he's not going to want that. So thinking about that intensity level going up, that red thermometer, whatever visualization, that's he tugs it away. I keep my hand on it because I want to kind of imply, all right, then I back off. But I do go for it again. It's a soft grip. I let him pull away when he wants. I don't tug back harder, but I don't take my hand away because I want to let him know I got a mission here. Put it on there. Should have clipped right away, but was tentative about making sure I had it lined up. And then once I was certain, give it a good clean cut. Let him smell it. Let him see nothing bad happened. See that I'm not doing anything. I stay calm. Give him some lovin's. And I'm giving him plenty of time to recuperate. And if I were going to try to cut another toenail, I'd wait a little bit and I'd do that again. And you might, if you have a dog that you've already screwed up and hates this thing, the way you can sort of rebuild that trust is doing this process again. Letting the dog just smell those scissors without any sort of nail cutting going on. Taking the long game over days and over weeks. You could think about cutting the nails over the course of the week, like 1 nail a day without too much fear. And you just have to be creative and have that goal in mind. And you pretty much can rehabilitate a dog that has any sort of fear associations. And if you have a dog that hasn't formed them yet, then you can introduce them to new experiences that are going to be habitual, something you're going to do with some kind of frequency. You want those first associations to be chill. So let me know in the comments if you have any other things that your dogs personally have bad associations with. Is it the bath? What do? I think everybody's had a dog that has some kind of weird fear with something they have to do. Or maybe you have just a super chill dog that goes along with whatever the heck you want. Rufio is more on the scared, reactive end. But I've been using this practice for the entire, getting close to 7 years that I've had him. Adopted him when he was about 3.5. He's a retired Eurohound, which is a kind of crossbreed sled dog. And yeah, he was like feral and didn't trust anything about the modern world. He got scared on hardwood floors and tiles. Inside, any kind of loud noises or movements would freak him out. He didn't even like to be pet. He was pretty much like being a working dog raised with other dogs. He was very natural. He was almost like a feral dog when brought into like the modern world, I'll say. But he's an awesome dog. He chills and he trusts me now because I'm very reliable to him. He gets daily exercise, so that energy doesn't build up, cause dog problems. So yeah, thanks for watching.